Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, we're back. And we've got a lot packed into the show tonight, don't we, man in the mirror?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it as much as the food I've just packed into myself? I'm stuffed here, mate.
I mean, are you really, really that stuffed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's bring you in and let's see. No, you don't look that fat. I think you are telling a few fibs.
If I stood up, you'd notice. But I'll just have to say thanks to Neil for just feeding me about a week's worth of food in half an hour. It was very nice, thanks.
Oh, very good. So I take it that you've had a barbecue.
Oh, second one in 2 days, yeah.
Indeed, indeed. Well, okay. This is with all the climate change that's going on. I saw all the iguanas and everything scooting above the walls. You know, it was just incredible. All this climate change shit.
The climate did change, though. It rained a little bit earlier, and then it changed back to being sunny again.
And sunny. Well, let's go back to that statement that you made. It was sunny.
It was sunny, but
and then Shiite.
It could be Shiite later, yeah.
The man who coined the phrase. Remember that now, everybody, because you know where it came from. It came from Statsman. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, Mark, there's a lot going on at the moment, okay? And I need everybody to actually, let's start off with something funny. I need everybody to actually turn their earplugs down and check this out because, I mean, sometimes, you know, the other side does have a sense of humor. Check this out.
Yeah, this was loud. Have you heard that behind you? What's that? Hey, mommy.
Be honest. He doesn't discriminate against age. I like that. What do you think? Do you think we get away with that in Whitby Park?
Be a few wigs there, wouldn't there? Why are some of them women had loads of hair anyway?
I don't understand why. You know, they need to wear the wigs. I mean, they're women are women. It's just as simple as that, you know. But anyway, there you go. Start everything off with a funny, but things are not too funny at the moment, are they?
No, take a deep breath.
Okay, well, here's a commentary from Peter Whittle. Now, I'm not going to play all of it, but it gives the flavor of exactly what's going on in the country at the moment under Labour.
Amidst the coverage of the Live Fest, which was Keir Starmer's recent speech on immigration, a far more important and alarming report was published, which went largely under the radar. I'm sure many of you are unaware of it. It shows how, in the aftermath of the Southport killings last year, when there was widespread civil disorder, the Prime Minister misled this country in the most egregious of ways. Not only did this lay the ground for multiple miscarriages of justice, but also one man's death, a 61-year-old grandfather, Peter Lynch. This was a man with no criminal record, sentenced to almost 3 years in prison for protesting and shouting at police. He was found hanged in his cell in October. In his now notorious press conference on August the 4th, Starmer was unequivocal about who had been to blame for the rioting.
I won't shy away from calling it what it is: far-right thuggery.
He said this before any charges had been brought or any court proceedings started. He therefore put in place a narrative which has remained in place and which was used to justify the draconian treatment of the protesters.
Vehicles were set alight and projectiles thrown at riot police by people believed to be supporters of the English Defence League.
Now listen to what he's got to say
So-called
now.
far-right agitators had come in from outside and orchestrated the disorder. But this new report by His Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabulary and commissioned by the Home Office found that this was a complete fabrication. It states, and I quote, "During our inspection, we found no conclusive or compelling evidence that the 2024 disorder was deliberately premeditated and coordinated by any specific group or network."
Now, let that sink in to everybody that's listening. That was the report that came out. And that, I don't know, which is the way that you can describe it, Mark?
Don't know, is he either flip-flops or he lies. On this one, he hasn't come out and said, "Oh, okay, I was wrong." So he's a liar, isn't he?
He's a liar. He's a liar.
Yeah.
I'll
Literally
carry on.
everything that comes out of his mouth, he either goes back against, doesn't he? Does
Well, I
a
think-
U-turn, or it's just a
You're
lie.
You're going to find that that is the theme of this program with facts to back it up. Here we go.
Most people who took part in the disorder lived locally, unquote. So Starmer blamed the so-called far-right without a shred of evidence. It paved the way for the outrageously harsh sentencing of protesters which came after, and indeed for the continued and increasingly tyrannical monitoring by the police of speech and comments on social media.
Yep.
There was never any attempt by government, or indeed the mainstream media, to try to understand the reasons for the outpouring of pent-up anger and frustration which we saw across this country. There was instead straightforward demonization and punishment of the harshest kind. And this was led by Starmer himself. If you're anything like me, you will feel that rather than an elected government, what we have in Britain now is more akin to an occupying force.
Wow. Now that is, could that not be the truth?
That's definitely the truth. Look, this far, I think it's everyone's favourite bogeyman to blame something on when they all know the reason people are unhappy. And it's because of what them and the previous governments have been doing to us. This occupying force he speaks about are the problem, and they know it, which is why they will go, "Look over there, wasn't us." Got to
All
blame.
the time.
It's always the victims. It's never their fault. So
Okay.
you've got to blame this imaginary far right, haven't you?
Okay. Well, I'll just play a little bit more.
We are ruled by people who clearly hate us, our culture, and our history,
Yeah.
and who on every occasion prioritise the needs and interests of foreigners over the indigenous people of this country.
And that couldn't be truer.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Yeah, he has the cheek to sit or stand in front of that flag, doesn't he?
Oh, God.
When they've never used it in the past.
Unbelievable. I don't think people really realize how much the Labour Party under Starmer is undermining this country. And we're going to get to some economic facts later on in the show. But I mean, my God, you know, let's get it straight. These people are not our friends. Your local Labour MPs are not your friend. In fact, nearly all of the cabinet are following Fabian rules. Is that not true?
We've been through this, haven't we, on a few shows recently and in the past?
We need
They don't
those.
hide none of it.
Yeah, we need people to realize that these people do not like us. They're destroying us. They're looking to take your pensions away from you, means testing. They're giving everything that they, possibly can to the migrants. There is absolutely no doubt. And there's absolutely no demonization here going on about them. They are giving it away to the migrants, and they're giving your tax money away to them. But nobody can understand the reason why they're doing it. And
It's pure tyranny, isn't it, mate? That in their own minds, they might think they're doing good, but they are using tyrannical means to get there. They don't care who they're going to squash on the way.
Here's something that's going on right now, okay? Check this picture out.
Yeah.
Now, this is the truth. You know, it's just one thing after another.
I mean,
and you have to say to yourself...
It might not have been that guy, might it? But, you know.
Well, let's put it this way.
Then again,
I don't care who it is. This is true. And if anybody wants to check up on it, go read it out in the press. No, he's just been banged up. And this is what's happening. At the moment, people are actually now turning. And they're turning on and against the police. It's happening. They're actually coming out and they're saying to them, we don't trust you. And you have people like the Shield who are actually gaining traction. More people. Check this out. This is a recent protest at the Bell Hotel, Epping, where something connected to this picture that you're looking at has gone on. And here we are.
Protect our kids! Protect our kids! Protect our kids! Protect our kids!
Shut it all far right. That's what they say.
This is Adam Brooks. I'm at the Migrant Hotel in Epping, the Bell, and there is a protest because a migrant is alleged and was charged with sexual assault against a young girl in Epping High Road last week. Now, worried mothers, worried children, there's grandmothers, there's fathers, uncles, granddads, and we've got anti-racism lot that have turned up. Things are getting heated here. I just cannot believe that an anti-racism mob would turn up against something like this.
No, the problem is, John, is they turn up, yeah, but they're brought there by the police. This happened last summer, and what did you expect people to do? Just stand there and be called racist, far-right Nazis for wanting to save children, yeah?
Check this out, because they turned up. They turned up, but guess what happened? And I'm sorry about that noise in the background. Just a comment, but watch this. Okay, and one of the guys, I think everybody wants to know who this fella is. Okay,
I think I might do, actually.
Well, Mr. Hard Knock. And, well, let's put it this way. He's no longer a hard knock.
Sounds like someone playing Tetris, doesn't it?
I know. Look at the people. Look at the police protecting the people, saying, stop the far right. There is nothing far right about wanting to protect your children. Nothing whatsoever. So I don't give a goddamn about these people. And, you know, I really don't. But the police are protecting them. Now watch this.
I know, John, but they wonder why it kicks off. Because they make it kick off by bringing these people right up to them.
Come on, Andy Dash! Andy Dash, come on! Andy Dash! Come on, Bob!
I've got a sneaky feeling I know who that is. But I'm just going to make sure first before I say anything.
You fucking nuts!
Look at this one, look.
He's fucking on!
Look at this one.
You're on.
You know, give Greater Manchester Police their due. They are a bunch of liars sometimes. But at least when we used to protest there, they would keep the two groups well apart.
Okay.
Whether they're still doing that, I don't know. But I've experienced different with other police forces.
Well, the truth of the matter is, that guy, that bald-headed prick, he actually got his head kicked in. And he wound up with a cut over his eye, you know, to get him out. And the police just started ushering them out. Now, these people, they're idiots because they've actually motivated and mobilized a majority force. And it's starting to turn. I can see it in so many different ways. And if we go over, say, for example, to Spain, and you can see what's going on, right?
Carnage.
Here we go.
This is armed gangs of migrants, by the way, if anyone hasn't already seen this video, just roaming the streets, beating up Spaniards.
So these are
Police don't seem
armed
too bothered.
migrants. Armed migrants.
Just running rampant through the streets, mate, attacking Spaniards. Don't care who they are, young, old, anyone. What are the police doing?
Nothing.
Not a lot by the look of it.
¿Por qué no
Yeah,
cargan?
chat with him.
Están protegiendo más la zona donde está la gente defendiendo al anciano, que no están haciendo ningún acto delictivo, que intentar dispersar a esta gente que están aquí lanzando objetos y tirando cosas.
Tell you what, people, better wake up, man. This is coming to a street near you.
Yep, this is happening. This is happening now. And this is what's happening to those poor people. Here we go.
Estamos en directo, estamos en directo.
Esta es la realidad que tenemos en este país. ¡Grabarlo! ¡Grabarlo! A ver si lo subieras esta mañana. Que luego se río.
There's quite a bit of blood on the floor, isn't there?
Increíble, increíble, de verdad. ¿Qué le han dado? ¿Con una piedra? ¿Con una
¿Quién han sido los inmigrantes?
¿Quién han sido los marroquíes?
¡Levanta los marroquíes! ¡Levanta la botella! ¡Mira, mira, por favor! ¡Mira! ¡O te puta los moros! ¡Mira, grabarlo! ¡Grabarlo!
Dios mío, Dios mío.
Moroccan migrants. The most ungrateful bastards going. And it's the same with the other ones over here. No, they're going to get it. There is no two ways about it. I don't know what you can say. I mean, you know, if you look at it, I mean, this is Charlie Veitch's take on it. And you know, he's saying it as it is. Check this out.
We're one beheading away from this country going into all-out sectarian civil war. And what I think will happen is some young British soldier like Lee Rigby, or even worse, a little girl will get kidnapped off the street, and the Islamists will put the ISIS banner behind her. They'll get the balaclavas on. She'll be screaming for her mummy. And on Facebook Live or something, they're going to behead a little Christian child on video, blood spilling everywhere as she screams for her mummy. And they're going to, without any self-awareness, they're going to say, "You fucking British, innit? This is how they're suffering in Gaza. This is how the Muslims are suffering in XYZ country," where they're mostly doing it to each other. But that isn't outside the realm of possibility.
Well, that one of my questions were, because I've seen the work that you do, and I can see that you're a visionary, and you look at the stats and the history and you piece it all together.
Yeah.
You know, you're a smart guy.
Right. Now, tell me how wrong Charlie Veitch is.
I can't tell you he's wrong. Spot on. A big shout out to Liam Tufts, anyways.
Yeah, it was a good interview. Good interview. I mean, you've got to.
He's not wrong, is he, John? Because he's just looking at a little bit of a progression from last summer, where there was beheadings of children. Let's face it, it wasn't live on anything, but you know, if someone wants to, in their perception, improve on that, and you know,
well, the only thing I can say is that
something's going to spark it off.
Something's going to spark it off, and they appear in this country, and this government appears in this country to be promoting Islam and favoring Muslims. And I just don't understand why they're doing it. I mean, for 6.7% of the population to gain so many positions, mayoral positions within the country, is just unbelievable. How has that happened?
Mate. They're terrified. They are literally so scared. They will not say or do anything to upset them.
Well, the police can't do anything about it because how many police have we got in the country? About 100,000?
About 130, 140,000. Outside of the Met, 100,000. There's only like 2,000 in Cheshire.
What are they going to do if it kicks off? They
They'll
can't.
do
You
what-
know, there is absolutely nothing that they can do.
Remember the London riots, and then it spread outside of London. There was nothing they could do at all. They have
Nothing.
to sit there, let it unfold, and then they'll go knock some doors with whoever they can find on CCTV cameras afterwards.
And after
That's it.
after we're watching what's going on in Northern Ireland and also in the island of Ireland, it's quite clear that all these governments are singing from the same hymn sheet. They are wanting to flood this country with Muslims and Islam, migrants. They want to do it. That's all it is. They're looking to destroy the people and the fabric of this country. And I don't understand why people are falling for it. You know, and I just want to go across here to say, you know, for example, we need to know and we need to understand why Labour are doing what they're doing. I mean, who's lying to who? Now, I
think they're just lying to themselves, John, because none of us believe them.
Well,
so
in most of the places where things are going to kick off, I would say that, you know, we're basically going to get it starting in some place like Liverpool or Glasgow. Okay, I think that's what's going to happen.
Who's going to run out of patience first? Because this isn't, you know, eventually this is going to boil over.
Of course it is, and they know that.
We had a taster of it last summer, didn't we?
And nobody's going to.
They managed to care a bit for it, but
nobody's going to give it. Nobody's going to give a shit about the police. They're just going to go ahead. I mean, look what happened over in Northern Ireland. They're that shit scared about the, you know, provisionals starting up again. That basically nobody went in to go police those bonfires. And did you see anything in the mainstream press about it? I didn't.
You're not seeing this stuff going on in Spain either, are you?
No.
But again, it's that the police aren't going to protect the people. The police, from what I've seen as well in Spain, will go harder on the people who are out protesting against it than all these muppets running around armed in the street. It's like, whose side he is on? Well, it's clear whose side they're on. They picked a side, and it's not the right side of history, John, is it?
No, it isn't, because when you start to link up all the different groups like Shield, the Provisionals, you know, I'm telling you now, they're not going to be able to do anything, and neither is MI5 or MI6. They're just going to watch as the bum fight goes on. And once they start to identify who the problem is, then that's it. I don't understand why they're not listening to the people. So here's a comment from a guy that is quite famous on TikTok. Here we go.
This is a video specifically for the people of Liverpool, because I have a question for you. Liverpool historically is a city that overwhelmingly votes for the Labour Party, overwhelmingly is left-wing, overwhelmingly hates for Tories, hates for the establishment, and is very much a city of the working classes, the working people. But you've just been betrayed by the very man and the very party that I'm sure 90% of you voted for, Keir Starmer and the Labour Party and the Labour government. So when Keir Starmer was at the Labour conference about 2 to 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, before they got elected, he promised that one of their very first acts when they got into power would be to push through what was nicknamed the Hillsborough Bill, or the Hillsborough Law, which essentially is the public accountability law, which basically was to try and enshrine and ensure accountability and transparency in public inquiries and into police activities, etc., based on the cover-ups and what went on around Hillsborough. And he promised, absolutely promised, that he was going to do that. Watch this video clip.
Now, I've got it here, which is a clearer version of it, and you can have a listen to this.
I ever had the privilege to serve our country as Prime Minister, one of my first acts would be to bring in a Hillsborough Law, a duty of candour. Because today I can confirm that the duty of candour will apply to public authorities and public servants. The bill will include criminal sanctions, and that the Hillsborough Law will be introduced to Parliament before the next anniversary in April.
Well, it's July, dickhead.
Yeah, liar. Absolute liar.
Look at that
Look
face.
at him.
Is he trying to do his best? I keep saying this all the time, to look like a 1930s dictator, because he doesn't
Jesus
pull it. He
Christ.
pulls it off well, John. Remember when I done a thing, he didn't I? A thumbnail, and I made him, turned him into Hitler. He didn't half suit it, John. It's scary, mate.
Now, his whole party is turning against him. I mean, check this out. This is Rayner's membership of Unite question. Now, never has a union ever really come out front and gone, no, we've had enough of you. But
we
you
come
can
back to
see
this
it.
Liverpool, this Hillsborough law in a second as well.
Yeah, but you can carry on with it if you like, and then I'll bring Rayner in. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, people are saying the Labour MPs voted against it. Well, they didn't actually. It was up for a second reading last week in Parliament. It's the accountability, what's it, Public Authority Accountability Bill.
Yeah.
And obviously it was what he's just said. There was going to be, no getting out of these situations now for these officials.
No.
But what happened is, like, if you read the mainstream press, they're saying that one of the whips had a word, but there was actually 2 MPs who raised objections which halted the bill's progress. And that was Labour MPs Keir Mather, another one named after one of the founders of the Labour Party, I see, and Christian Wakeford. So don't you think this is a bit of a coincidence, John, that this was done just before are we going to get inquiry into these gangs?
No.
Probably not. But have you noticed, even if we do now, this law isn't going to be available, is it?
No, it isn't.
I know he keeps saying I want to get it through properly and stuff, but what was said by, let's have a look. Byrne, he's the guy who's trying to bring the law through. He's criticised them. The bill is wholly deficient and ineffective for omitting the key provisions like the duty of candour. So at the same time, this guy's saying, I'm going to put this thing into law, he's also saying, no, we want to wait to make sure it's all right and we do this correctly. Yeah, he's going to leave that bit out.
Yep.
Someone's lying again, John. I wonder who that is.
Lied. Well,
Labour Party.
Talk about a liar. This guy was absolutely castigated over this. All right, and this is everybody's favourite, Sadiq Khan.
I think many of us wanted to hear the oral update on rape gangs, because the Mayor has refused to answer questions on the rape gangs on numerous occasions, and I'm sure every one of us wanted to hear his update. So, Mr. Mayor, are you not able to give us an oral update on the rape gangs in London?
We've had this conversation. I can't make the Mayor do something that he doesn't want to do.
This isn't right. You were asked by a member for an oral update on rape gangs. You never seem to want to talk about rape gangs. If you were asked for an oral update, why can't you just give an oral update and then the clock starts going after that? Because many people wonder why we don't ask additional questions, and it's because we're on the clock. I will ask a question then. Do you believe, Mr. Mayor, that there are grooming gangs now in London?
So, Chair, in London, the vast majority of what we're dealing with is county lines, which involves organised criminal networks and illegal drugs.
Mr. Mayor, can I stop you? This is the answer you keep giving me. You know what a grooming gang is now. Even you must have picked up on what a rape gang is. Perhaps if I put it that way, you'll understand more.
It's what his community ignore.
It's because this guy really knows that he will be attacking his own voter base if he actually says, yeah, I know who it is. Hands up.
May it be worse than that, though, John? Because I'm not accusing him of anything. God forbid. No, I wouldn't do that. But there's been a lot of these officials who've been involved in all this. There's been police officers and council workers and everyone who've actually been involved in the gangs. Well, is there a reason why he doesn't want to go in? What kind of evil scumbags, John? Sorry.
Let's bring this in. Let's bring this in. Whatever happened to Nick Brown?
But what kind of evil scumbags want to stop the truth from coming out and not punish the people who are committing the crimes? Why are him and Starmer trying to stop it? Stinks, mate. Sorry,
well, this is the whole thing. I mean, what has happened to Nick Brown? Why isn't anything coming out about Nick Brown in the mainstream press? Why was he suspended? You know, you've only got to go back over certain things and you can see it straight off. You know, there are so many people within the Labour Party that, you know, are suspect. They are. There's just no two ways about it. Let her finish off what she's got to say, you know, over this. I can't even call the guy human. I just don't think he is.
Well, in the words of
rape
Angela
gangs
Rayner, he's a
in it.
scumbag.
Well,
I think that finished anyway, hadn't it?
yeah, and it's not even because it's the Conservatives, because that could have been anybody asking that question. Anyone.
Yeah.
You know, as far as I'm concerned. And
But
you
it
know, a
wouldn't be
concerned
Labour, would it?
parent. But, you know, London has now become the rape and knifing capital of the world. And it's all under this guy. And how many people has he got, deputy mayors, that are on over 100,000 in a year? I mean, it's just, I don't know what it is. I know people have got to wake up. How is this guy getting voted in? I actually
Beats
think
me,
there
mate,
is
'cause he's-
something suspect about the whole thing.
Me too, John, because you look across the world and there's people in positions of power and you're thinking, one, how the hell have they even got to this point?
Yeah.
And then two, who the hell's voting for this?
Yeah.
I mean, are people really that stupid? Not many people I'd speak to, and I'm not being funny, but the vibe I'm getting now, on and offline, from actual idiots who've supported and voted Labour in the last election, you want to see what they're saying now. They are
they're
fuming with
destroying
this
them.
Labour government. They're destroying them. Honestly, give this guy at least another 2 or 3 years, John, and he'll have wiped out his own voter base. It'll be the easiest election win for someone who wants to come in.
I think any Labour MP in any area of the country is now sitting there thinking, holy moly, I've got a massive problem here. A massive problem.
Yeah.
And when you start curating all the stories that aren't going into the mainstream press, because a lot of what we talk about isn't going into the mainstream press. They're not talking about it. The BBC, they're just mouthpieces for this arsehole. Same with Khan. Did you see him strutting about at Wimbledon? The guy is nothing.
I didn't really watch much of the tennis, to be honest. I've gone off that, but I'm definitely not watching if people like that are there. But the problem is, he's going to alienate. He's already starting to alienate his own voting base, right? He's already starting to piss off his own MPs. I mean, if you look at the welfare thing, they were fuming, and now, that was a cross-party group of MPs who've tried to get this Hillsborough law in since what? About 2017 or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're still not letting it go through. Wow. See, he's literally going to piss everyone off to the point where he's finished. I keep saying it. He's just like a dead rat in the floorboard. You got to put up with the smell for a bit.
Yeah. Well, politically, he's dead man walking. Now, we're coming back to this one about Rayner. Now, check this out.
How did we have a situation last week where 800 reps...
This is the head of Unite. Okay?
From every sector across Britain and Ireland, 41 sectors, from buses to aerospace, other areas of manufacturing, local authority, NHS, all the regions, all the nations, almost unanimously vote that we remove her membership and look to a conversation about our relationship with the party. That must be a red flag.
Wow. You know, we've removed her membership. You know, she's the deputy prime minister. And this is one of the biggest unions in the country turning around and saying, we're going to remove her membership. Let's find out why.
For anybody, and indeed
Did you hear what else she
the
said?
Labour Party itself.
Go ahead.
She was talking about their association with the party.
Oh,
now, do you think this is any coincidence that this is all being said roughly the time that Corbyn comes and announces he's going to be starting something?
Oh,
new?
yes.
Because I tell you what, if Labour carry on alienating the unions and everyone else, mate,
They're
what are they going to
finished.
start doing? Well, there's another party we can go and support.
Correct.
Who will be fully behind everything we do.
Yep.
Well, I think there's going to be trouble.
Indeed.
Get the
There
popcorn
may
out.
be trouble ahead.
They're going to tear themselves apart. I don't think there's going to be much for us to do.
Okay, let's let Times see what they're going to say. Here we go.
This for us. Did Unite suspend Angela Rayner's membership, or had she actually not paid her membership since April of this year?
Well, look, let's just remind your viewers what this issue is about. This issue is about bin workers in Birmingham who have been asked to take an up to £8,000 pay cut, which is nearly a quarter of their pay. And Angela Rayner has direct control over the commissioners who are making the decisions in this dispute in relation to how this dispute is resolved. Now, this is fire and rehire. In any other name. These workers had a contract for over 20 years for some of them, getting a rate of pay, and now they're being told they will lose up to £8,000. That means for some of them they will lose their homes. There's no doubt about that. Their mortgages are reliant on this money. And so Angela Rayner has acted in a despicable way. She's been a member of Unite for 10 years. Every time I see her, she tells me she's a member of Unite. She said...
Hang on, I just want to... Are they actually losing this money? Or is she rewording this where
no, they are losing?
It's not keeping up with the cost of living, so she's saying it equates to them losing it.
She's
they're actually being asked to work the same job for less money.
Let's get it straight. They're losing the money. I watched a video literally just yesterday of a doctor showing her wage slip in comparison to another doctor from 2005. And she showed, with all the deductions that she has to actually make, that her wage was less than a doctor's in 2005. And she proved it on screen. Now, there is absolutely no doubt in anybody's mind about wage stagnation. And they're all to blame. The Conservatives, everybody. Since 2010, when the deficit was around about 750 bill, something of that. No, sorry, 810 bill, right, in 2010. It's now 2.6 trillion over those successive governments from then. And they will blame everything, but wage stagnation is unbelievable. This country is ripping its own people off. There is no two ways about it. Whilst these people are living the high life, they're feeding from the trough. And I'm sick and tired of everybody not actually realizing it. And every Labour councillor, every Labour MP right now should be looking at their people and saying, I'm not working for you anymore. I'm going to go independent. Finish off with this woman saying, I'm sorry, Mark, to go on that.
Before you do, just a quick one. So she's definitely actually saying that they are now doing the same job as they were doing like a year ago, 2 years, but for £8,000 less or what, a year?
Because of the fire and rehire.
So how much do you think these people are on per year?
I've no idea.
Let's take it. It's not going to be more than 40 grand.
Well, it's got to be round about. It's got to be round about anywhere between 29 and 32.
All right, well, let's just pick a number, 30. So you're telling me now they're expected to come and do that same job for £22,000 a year? I'm pretty sure that's probably against some employment law somewhere, John.
Well, this is what these people are saying. But under fire and rehire, right, they have to sign new contracts. So that is the issue.
Right.
So let's finish, see what she's got to say.
Well, unfortunately, you have to get a different job.
Handout for money at the election.
No, but nobody's collecting the bins in Birmingham.
No, but if you've been fired, then you've been fired, haven't you? So it's time to get another job. If someone says you can have your old job back, but you're going to be on less money, you'd say, no, thanks. I used to do that for more money. So,
well, that's what they should do en masse. Well, Unite.
We'll see what to do, and they're firing everyone to then get people back on cheaper.
That's right. That's right. That's all what it is about.
Well, unless they were on too much money to begin with, then I can't see this being very fair.
Well, it's the same with everybody else in the public sector. They are all feeling it. And I can understand because there is money. Where did the difference between 2010 of 800 and something billion and 2.7 trillion right now, where did that money go?
I'm going to have a wild guess and say foreigners and foreign countries.
Oh.
Just a wild guess. Oh, and probably loads of dodgy benefit claims in this country.
Somebody's had the money away and done very well out of it. Very
There's loads of money out there, mate. There's loads of money out there when they want money for net zero and for for unlimited supply of immigrants. And all this foreign aid, there's loads of money then, John. It grows on trees, mate, doesn't it?
Everybody can intellectualize the argument and explain the financial sides, but somebody has had the money. The Bank of England knows who's had it, and the banks like Barclays and all the rest of them, they know who's had the money. They could tell you tomorrow. But what they're doing is they're squeezing the public. They're squeezing the middle income earners so that basically their pensions are going to be worthless. They're going to do it. They're literally going to do it. Let me finish off what she's saying.
Before you do, you know where they're trying to push us to then, don't you?
Yeah. It's communist.
Universal basic income.
That's right.
So
and
then we're
everybody
all reliant on the state.
Absolutely. Just,
it's what the socialists do, mate.
Idiots. Absolute idiots. Here we go.
And our last record shows she is still a member of Unite. It may well be that she's, in the last couple of weeks, that she's decided to remove her Unite membership because of the mood music that was happening about her behaviour. But she has been a member of Unite. If I was her, I would be thinking more about the fact that how did we have a situation last week where 800 reps from every sector across Britain and Ireland, 41 sectors, from buses to aerospace, other areas of manufacturing, local authority, NHS, all the regions, all the nations, almost unanimously vote that we remove her membership and look to a conversation about our relationship with the party. That must be a red flag for anybody, and indeed for the Labour Party itself.
Well,
sorry, John, is she a member or not?
Nobody knows.
Well, what was this whole
blooming
story about? If she says they've took a membership off her, and then in the next breath, well, she's still a member, and then all the members want to take it off her.
Well, okay, let's not make that.
What are they talking about, John?
Well, let's not make that the issue. The question is, what they're doing is just there's a lot of posturing going on. That's the truth. A lot of posturing. What the union is saying is, if you don't listen to what we're saying, we're going to get rid of you.
Oh, do you know what? I'd just get rid of all of them. The unions, Labour, a lot of them, mate, they're an absolute joke and always have been a pain in our country's arse.
Well, here's a quick take on what the Institute of Economic Affairs think of the finances of this country.
If you had decent people in charge, you wouldn't need unions. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
we have a deficit of 5.7% of GDP, which is 4 percentage points higher than the advanced economy average.
Okay, now catch that again, right from the beginning.
Yeah, I don't pay any attention to GDP, mate. It's pointless.
Well, I think the banks around the rest of the world and the interest that they charge on debts to this country do. So that's why we do have to pay attention
more
to
for
it.
them then.
I agree with you. I agree, and I understand your viewpoint. But where interest is concerned, it makes a difference.
I mean, if you just look at the graph, and the GDP is following the same trajectory it has done for decades and decades. And it has a little wobble now and again. It corrects itself. More per capita, be more relevant. To see, like,
so how can it be? How can it be doing well with? And I'm going to let this guy play out.
Yeah.
How can it be doing well when we're actually putting out $1 billion a month with people that are not inputting anything to the economy, and we have a segment of the population which is continually on benefits, and they will never be anything other than on benefits. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Listen to this guy.
Look, if GDP can keep rising all it wants, mate, but if inflation's rising quicker than it, then it's meaningless, mate.
Well, it's connected. Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy.
Have a deficit of 5.7% of GDP, which is 4 percentage points higher than the advanced economy average. We have the third highest deficit among 28 advanced European economies. Our overall debt level is the fourth highest among that same cohort, and we have the third highest borrowing costs of any advanced economy around the world. This is a very unhappy situation to be in. we've been borrowing at around this level for the last 4 years. So ever since we really came out of the kind of the big deficit era of the pandemic, the deficit has been stubbornly high. We've sort of tried to raise taxes half-heartedly under the Tories and then more wholeheartedly under Labour. That doesn't really seem to have done the trick. There have been efforts to try and trim public spending. They've run into problems as well. So we do seem to be in a situation where basically we have a stubborn large budget deficit, we have rising levels of debt, we have high and probably rising borrowing costs, and we also have a situation where there is just a massive mismatch between how much we can bring in tax and how much politically it is demanded that we spend. And it's not really obvious where the political solution to this comes from. Now, we can talk about it from an economic perspective, of course, and we should, and we probably will. But it seems to me that politicians on the left and politicians on the right are both basically incapable of coming to terms with this reality and fixing it. Have a deficit of.
There you go. All right. Now, the guy gave a succinct explanation of what's going on in this country. Now, we can look at all the levels and the connections between what's going on, but we're spending more than we're bringing in. It's as simple as that. And we're having to borrow. So the difference is actually the interest that's being charged as well on the selling of the government gilts. And the other countries that are out there that are actually buying these gilts, you know, and it could be the Chinese, it could be the Middle East and, you know, oil companies. These people do not know what they're doing, and they're destroying the social fabric of this country as well. And something's got to give, because that's why you're starting to see the unrest. And what are they going to do? Are they going to, you know, be like the Romans and put on another gladiatorial battle in order to keep the people happy?
If them battling each other while we can watch, we'd be very happy. Do you know what? They're obsessed with GDP, John, and it proper miffs me off. Look, they can literally, a handful of big corporations can literally alter your GDP by loads of investment. So they're then like, oh, look, GDP's up. But when you look at it, the small and medium-sized businesses that are the backbone of this country, and what are they doing to them? Decimating them.
Yeah.
Absolutely decimating them, mate.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, we're going to finish now because we've gone on for a little bit too long.
And and before you do, they caused this problem with this pandemic they talk about.
Oh, yes, indeed.
I mean, the Great Panic of 2020. What weren't we saying through the whole of that? Remember, we were doing audio podcasts. Every move they made, we warned against it and what would happen.
Yep.
Guess where we are now?
Yep, absolutely.
Everyone was saying the same thing online.
I know.
This is going to end badly. This is going to end badly. This is going to end badly.
Well, I'd like right now to thank everybody that's been watching tonight, and thank you for the support and the messages in the background that have been coming through. And we're going to leave it.
You got something funny? Because I don't feel this was one of our more upbeat podcasts.
No, I mean,
well, these people depressed the hell out of me, to be honest, with the shenanigans they're up to.
I'm sorry, but I mean, you know, here's something that is funny. They couldn't get him off stage. All right, it was the win, Chelsea against Paris Saint-Germain. Okay. And they couldn't get him off stage. So I'm going to say thank you very much again for the conversation, Statsman, and thank you to everybody that's been listening. And we're going to finish on this. Here it is. Here's your man.
Absolute legend. Look, he tried to say, come on, walk off. And Trump's like, nope.
No, I'll stay.
He's like, no, I'm staying. The only problem there is it's Chelsea, isn't it? Winning it.